I've spent most of the day in discussions with Joe, and I've got to say that I very much respect Joe. I like Joe. He's been a mate of mine for a long time. But it now seems pretty clear that we could change the leader to Joe and these offensive bills could still go through the Parliament. So I don't find that acceptable. I think that it's important that our party oppose these bills. That's what I wanted Malcolm to do. That's the chance that Malcolm and I, that Nick and I gave Malcolm last Thursday. So given Joe's reluctance, should he be elected leader, to ask the party to vote against these bills in the Parliament this week, should it come to that, I will be a candidate for the leadership tomorrow, regardless of anyone else who might be a candidate, should the spill motion be carried.
Are you saying that Joe Hockey now doesn't have the support?
Will only stand on the proviso that if he is leader, it will be a free vote in both houses on the ETS?
Yeah, look, I respect Joe's position. I very much respect Joe's position. I think that if Joe wants to run for leader on the basis of a free vote, he's perfectly entitled to do so. But I also think that on an issue as important as this, which is a policy issue, not a conscience issue, it's just not possible for a credible party to have a free vote. Now, I accept that if I am elected, given the strong feelings that this whole issue has given rise to, I accept that some of my colleagues might find that position difficult to accept. I accept that. But nevertheless, I think I need to be absolutely straight and upfront with my colleagues. If I am elected as the leader tomorrow, I will ask the party, to try to refer those bills to a Senate inquiry. But if that is not successful, and they do come to a vote this week, to vote against them.
Why not allow a free vote? Isn't the best way to heal the divisions, to allow everyone to have the say and really find out how the party feels on this?
Well, I think what we should have had is a secret ballot in the party room last week. Instead, we had a ballot which was called by Malcolm, and I think incorrectly called by Malcolm. I think that was the time to have a secret ballot. I think people need to know what I would be recommending to the party room tomorrow, should I be elected leader. And what I would be recommending tomorrow is that first we try to refer these bills to a Senate inquiry, because they are bad bills. They need to be thoroughly scrutinised. The Australian people need to know that Kevin Rudd's ETS will add 30% to their electricity bills. They need to know all of this. So they should be referred for further inquiry. But if for whatever reason there is not a majority in the Senate for such a referral, and they do come to a vote this week, I will be recommending that the coalition vote against it.
Mr. Hockey told you that he will be running as a leadership candidate tomorrow?
I'm not going to comment on the talks with Joe today, other than to say they have been very lengthy. A lot of people have been in on them. They've been constructive, they've been cordial. Joe's a mate. I very much respect him.
But it can't be that constructive if you're going to run as a leadership candidate.
But in the end, I called the spill last week because first and foremost, I wanted to stop these bills going through the Parliament. I didn't want to change the leader. I wanted to stop the bills going through the Parliament. I said, if it comes to the crunch, and the only way to stop the bills going through the Parliament is to change the leader, all right, let's change the leader. I then said, if Joe would be better at healing the party, well, let it be Joe. I now know from the discussions today that Joe could be elected tomorrow and the bills would still go through the Parliament this week, and at least as far as I'm concerned, that's unacceptable. Now, the party has a clear choice. It can vote for Malcolm and we will support the legislation. It can vote for me and we will oppose the legislation, or it can vote for Joe and there'll be a conscience vote on the legislation.
That's
a clear choice.
Who do you think will win?
Look, I'm not going to try to call it. Over the last few days, I have not spoken to every member of the party room, the Liberal Party room, but I have tried to speak to every member of the Liberal Party room, and I've certainly spoken to the vast majority of our party room. I got a very good hearing from most of them, but I wouldn't want to predict which way the vote will go.
Is that not a concession that you would lose a free vote? Aren't you not blocking the will of the party?
No, I'm saying that on an issue like this, which is a policy issue, not a conscience issue, a credible political party has to have a position. It might be hard, it might be contentious, but we can't avoid taking a position if we are going to be a serious, credible political party.
Tony, do you think it's possible Malcolm Turnbull could remain leader?
We know what your position is. We know what Malcolm Turnbull's position is. We are hearing from you, this is Joe Hockey's conscience vote position, but does he need to clear that up with the party so they all know what they're getting?
Look, Joe can speak for himself, and it's up to him what he chooses to say.
Do you think it's possible Malcolm Turnbull can remain as leader?
I'm sorry?
Do you think it's possible Malcolm Turnbull can remain leader with this split between yourself and Joe?
Well, let's wait and see. I mean, let's give Malcolm credit where it's due. He has been entirely consistent over the last few days that he wanted the government's bill, Kevin Rudd's bill, to pass. I mean, Malcolm's position is that Kevin Rudd should take a trophy to Copenhagen. That's Malcolm's position. My position is that it is the duty of the opposition to oppose, and that we owe it to Liberal voters, we owe it to the country at large to subject this bit of legislation to the most rigorous scrutiny, given that this is for keeps, this legislation. It's $120 billion, and that's just for starters. And I think it would be a very sad Parliament, and certainly a very misguided opposition, which simply waved this thing through so that Kevin Rudd can take a trophy to Copenhagen. Now, I'm quite happy to see the Australian Prime Minister look good on the world stage, but not if it jeopardises our national interest, not if it puts our exporters at a competitive disadvantage, perhaps forever. I mean, let's face it, we cannot save this. Australia cannot save the world on its own. And the idea that Australia should have an emissions trading system ahead of the rest of the world, it will damage us economically, and it won't do anything for the environment. That's why I think it's very important that we should oppose these bills in the Parliament this week if we can't get them referred to.